with the Eastern Panhandle Conservation District, and I am joined by
Lily.
And we are here to talk about the first grade level Conservation Connection backpack kit. These kits are provided by the Eastern Panhandle Conservation District with funding support from the Chesapeake Bay program. And these backpack kits are designed to be at each school in our Tri-County districts, so Jefferson, Berkeley, and Morgan counties. And then there's one kit per school, so the thought is that they would travel between each grade level at each school. So in these kits for the first grade level, they are going to focus on pollination. And the standard that we are looking at for grade 1 science, standard 5, is students will use materials to design a solution to a human problem by mimicking how plants and animals use their external parts to help them survive, grow, and meet their needs. So we're going to be discussing pollination, going over how birds and bees and butterflies connect as pollinators, but also how humans connect as pollinators, because if, for instance, you have plants growing in a greenhouse, you're not going to have those living pollinators to be able to pollinate your plants, so you're going to have to do that as yourself, as the human, to be able to have your fruits and vegetables to be able to grow. So in your first grade backpack kit, of course, you have your backpack, and each backpack kit is going to have your folder, and it has what should be included in it. On the inside, there's contact information, should you have any questions, need more supplies, and that kind of thing. And then we also have our lesson plan, and these are all laminated. We've also included a disinfectant spray so that in between classes, you're able to wipe everything down. So we've got our lesson plan, and I've also included some links to our YouTube channel, which can just be found by searching Eastern Panhandle Conservation District, because there is a follow-up craft activity. Instead of just using a plain Q-tip for pollination, there is how to turn your Q-tip into a bee. And then there's also some more information to do worksheets and that kind of thing on parts of plants and whatnot. Then we've also included some definition for the parts of plants, and then gone over some definitions for pollination-related birds. Again, you've got disinfectant spray to go over everything. And then with these kits, they're estimated for about 15 in each classroom. And depending on what your school rules are and that kind of thing, students can work together as teams or small groups, or they can be individuals. So here I've got this kind of set up as me and my daughter Lily being a team working together on pollination. So you're going to have 2 sets of flowers because you're going to need the 2 different colors. So each kit is going to have 2 different colored pigments. And these are the pigments like what's used in color runs and that kind of thing, so they are safe, but again, they are pigments, so you might want to remind students to not wear their best clothes. Don't do this on picture day when you're planning out this lesson. So you'll need a dowel rod per flower. We've got these cupcake liners, which are great because they actually represent, and show that brightly colored flower. You'll need your Q-tip, your cotton ball, and then a Q-tip. And again, as I said in the beginning of the video, you can either do that little bee craft and make a butterfly, however you want to change it up, or you can just use this plain Q-tip. Supplemental items that I've found helpful doing this that are not provided in this kit is tape, and also a small spoon or even a tongue depressor or something to transfer the pigment from the baggie to the actual Q-tip. You could also try just, trying to get it out of the bag, but it tends to run a little fast once you get it out. So I recommend a spoon or something to be able to actually place it on the Q-tip. The trick, because they are just paper cupcake liners, so they're pretty thin, and I found once you get your dowel rod through the bottom of the cupcake liner, and you want to make sure, and I apologize, I'm far away from the camera, that you have enough space to be able to get your Q-tip on. So once you kind of judge your space and give yourself 2 or 3 inches, go ahead and take a rather long strip of tape and tape the bottom secure it in place so it doesn't keep sliding either down or up and then you lose everything. And then getting the Q-tip, the students are probably going to need some help getting the cotton ball on top of the dowel rod. So I found if you kind of separate it a little bit and then you're able to just kind of stick it on and kind of twist it and work it up, and then it'll stay. So then you have your cupcakes, your cupcake liners or your flowers looking like this. And then what I'm going to do is take the pigment, and this of course is going to act as those pollen grains, and it goes really far, so you don't need a whole lot of it, and just give it a little dusting on the top. And then it might help to do all one color and then go back and do another color, unless you want to get 2 spoons or 2 tongue depressors or whatever you have to be able to get the pigment out. And again, put the other colored pigment on. I see just a little bit goes really far. Alright, so now that we have our flowers, alright, Lily, you want to hold yours? You've got your Q-tip. I've got my Q-tip, so I'm going to act like the bee and buzz on in, alright, and then land on my flower. Alright, I'm going to drink it up, get my pollen. And this is where you can talk, about your pollination and the parts of the flower, etc., etc. And then I'm going to, you can go ahead and get pollen on yours. Alright, look pretty blue. Alright, so then we're going to transfer. So Lily is going to fly over to my flower, and then I'm going to fly over to Lily's flower, and now I've got blue pollen, and she has orange pollen on her flower. So now we can talk about how our flowers have been pollinated to be able to eventually produce more flowers, in our case. So that is kind of the overview of this pollination workbook, or this backpack kit, I apologize. And again, on the back of your lesson plan, there is a photo of what it should look like when it's completed. And I've also included a link to our YouTube page for that pollinator craft activity, and then also a link for further worksheets that include coloring and more in-depth identification if your students so desire. So again, this is the first grade Conservation Connection backpack kit offered through the Eastern Panhandle Conservation District. This is open to public, private schools, homeschool groups, community groups, different organizations, whatever organization wishes to talk about pollination. It is open to you. You can reserve your kit, or if you have any questions, you can give me a call, 681-247-30